Problem 5. Now instead of a power line, you're grabbing a bare wire in your house, or, this is way more likely because you could end up doing this all kinds of different ways. You could, you know, be plugging something in and touch one of the leads on the plug, all kinds of ways you can end up doing this. Or more likely, struggling to unplug something from a power strip and accidentally zap yourself. Um, so we have our voltage, which is 115 volts, and we have our resistance, which is 510 ohms. And we're going to calculate the current. So just like in the last problem, the current is going to be the voltage divided by the resistance. There we go. And we want this in milliamps, so we're going to multiply that by 1,000 to get to milliamps. I'll label this as milliamps. All right, so 225 or 226 milliamps around that. And, a note here, fortunately, most of the time you're not that well grounded in your home. I mean, there's a reason we call the ground. It takes lots and lots of electrons quite happily. But in your home, you're on top of plywood, which has a layer of other stuff on top of it usually. Or if you're in my home, you're just on a layer of pine boards. They don't conduct all that well. And so the resistance to ground is way higher. It's the resistance from what you're touching to ground that matters. And now if you're, touching the 115 volt line and the ground part of the plug, well, your finger is going to get a good zap there. And I say, so we got 225.4 ohms. I say, check it against the chart. So, so against the chart, we're in the ventricular fibrillation, often fatal part. And fortunately, again, you're not as grounded in your home as you are outside. Ooh, think about that for nature lovers. No, my worst shock. I've been hit by a number of things that were high voltage and high current, but never in a terribly unsafe way. The worst shock I've gotten was hand to hand 240 volts. Let me rephrase that. The most dangerous shock I've gotten was hand to hand 240 volts. Because not only is that giving me a current up into the region of ventricular fibrillation, it's hand to hand, so it's going through the chest. And so, yeah, that was by far my most dangerous shock was 240 volts hand to hand. And that's it for this problem. Be safe out there.